Okay, so let's take a rectangle. Down here in the XY plane. This rectangle projects up to a point on this surface. Well, each corner projects up to a point on the surface. I would put the corner here so it's right in front of the z-axis. That was a bad idea. I'm going to smudge the picture up a little more. I just arbitrarily, I didn't want to get too far from the axis, but I really need to have the rectangle somewhere else. So I'm going to use this dotted line again, and maybe this one, but I'm going to go out here so I'm not right in front of the z-axis because it messes up my picture. So right there's the base. I've got the back as a dotted line because it's going to be invisible. Okay. This point will go up to the picture, and I want my purple chalk. Where's my purple chalk? That's white. Probably over in the other room. Stuff doesn't necessarily work so great, but let's see if it works out. Okay, so let's say this point, that's terrible. Excuse me. Well, I've already used blue for this circle. You understand that the blue circle and the orange circle are in level planes. Planes parallel to the XY. And what's left of this white circle, okay? I'm going to use blue here to say that this point, that should have been a dotted line, but it goes up and meets the surface here. This point goes up and meets the surface here. That's, out a little further. It's a little further from the origin, so it's going to hit the surface at a higher point. This one is further from the origin, so the x squared plus y squared is going to be bigger, right? So the z equals x squared plus y squared is going to be even bigger. So this point might go up to here. And this point isn't quite as far as this one, but it's further than either of these, so it probably goes up to something like this. So now we have this figure, okay? Let's say that this point here is the point x naught, y naught, 0. And the actual figure is not going to look quite exactly like that. Let's say that this distance here is delta x. And this distance here is delta y. Then I'm just going to bring this figure out here and draw it sort of similar to the way it's drawn. So what we have is and this is not drawn very well as a representation of the quadratic surface, but let's just say we got something that looks like this. And how high is this? What are the coordinates of this point here? Now, let's take the coordinates of this point first. This point corresponds to x coordinate x naught, y naught, right? So its coordinates are x naught, y naught, f of x naught, y naught. And of course, for this function, this is the point x naught, y naught, x naught squared plus y naught squared, okay? But for any function at all, we could represent the point by x naught, y naught, f of x naught, y naught. Make sense? Okay. Then this point here well, what are the x and y coordinates of this point? This point down here is, I'll label it up here. I don't want to label it here because there's going to be enough labeling and we're going to run out of room. This point would be, in the xy plane would be, x coordinate would be x naught, because right there it is on the same x equals constant line in the plane. So still, this point still projects over to the x coordinate x naught. What's the y coordinate? Don't say it, write it down. Say it, I gotta trash the video. Either that or break the law. Probably should break the law. Okay, what do you think? Okay, well, we're labeling these 4 points. Probably want to draw a bigger picture so you can see it better. Okay, well, what's the y coordinate at this point? Well, right here is y naught, right? I mean, it might as well be, why not? That's terrible. Okay, so what's the coordinate here? Well, you got delta y between here and here, right? So what's the coordinate? It's y naught plus delta y. Similarly, we got x naught here and x naught plus delta x here. So the coordinate here is going to be y naught plus delta y. This point, well, if you understand this quickly without copying anything down right now, just write down what you think the coordinates of this point are going to be. See if you understand. And if you get that one, what are the coordinates of this point? So we want the coordinates of these 4 points down here in the plane. And, you know, I left something off here. Concentrating on the x and y coordinates. There is a z coordinate, which is 0, because we're down in the xy plane. Okay, I believe you're seeing it, haven't written it down yet, but it's gonna be, at this point, it's x naught plus delta x, y naught plus delta y. Zero. At this point here, it's x naught plus delta x, y naught 0. So now we know what the coordinates of these 4 points are. And we know that this point up here then has a z coordinate, f of x naught, y naught. And in this case, that's x naught, y naught, x naught squared plus y naught squared, because f of x naught, y naught is x naught squared plus y naught squared, right? So I'm going to ask you to sketch this picture, sketch it big enough that you can label it, and label the coordinates of these 4 points up at the top.